We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide when you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollersPodcast.com. What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday to you. It's Veteran Craig. My, oh my. We have a loaded show today. So much to talk about. The internet has given us lots of material today. Glad you found us today, wherever you're tuning in. Hello, hello, hello. Blabs, good morning to you.
You know, when you said, like, we have a loaded show today, all of a sudden I thought of, like, Kirby Fully Loaded, the movie.
Good.
I don't know why.
Is that where your mindset goes? Your mindset immediately goes to Kirby?
Yeah, why not? I don't know why. But anyway, hello, chat.
Hello.
Hi.
Usually on Tuesdays, we have our boy Razor with us, but Razor is out with the sniffles. Hopefully he doesn't die.
You're supposed to say he died. And then
Oh.
next week, we'll be like, look, he's alive. It's a miracle. Wow.
That's not what happened. Razor is not dead. Can confirm Razor is still tweeting, probably from his bed. But he is not with us.
Someone please
today.
make the Wolverine meme of Razor Fist. Instead of holding a frame, it's just a phone and he's in bed.
He's holding his phone right there, just looking at it. Sad stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. We found we have an excellent, fun friend joining us today on Tuesday. The complete opposite of the monochromatic wonder. I'm talking bright, and colorful, and orange. It's very dark.
It's me.
How are you?
Is that your natural
Good.
hair, by the way? Like, I've always wondered.
Yeah, it is my natural hair for
Really?
sure. For sure. Yes.
Really?
Totally.
Okay.
Nice. She's a Weasley.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
No, it's not my natural hair. I wish.
Oh, wait, what? I've been
No.
bamboozled. I'm
How
so.
could this be natural? It's so bright.
Did you see Blabs' face? The shock that she felt? I
I
felt
said it was. I totally believed you.
Blabs.
Blabs.
Welcome.
Dude,
you
people
poor-
have that color hair. It's not like it's impossible.
Well,
I just
maybe
thought she
a
was
little
one of the extreme cases.
Maybe close, but not quite this bright.
So you are a ginger.
No.
Strawberry
I'm
blonde?
No. Yes. Yes.
Strawberry blonde? Okay. All right.
Oh, this is a great. I love it.
Honorary ginger.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's close
Well,
enough.
Vera, great to see you.
Yeah, glad to be here. Per usual.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
100 and what? How many thousand right now?
I'm at 107 now.
Oh man.
And I just did the 100K stream and I got my plaque. I'm surprised YouTube actually gave it to me.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
like we're closing in, and I got to be honest, I don't like. That's really all I'm looking forward to is getting that little plaque to put in the background. And I apparently they're not giving them out anymore.
I think they're changing them. So basically it's just this very small circle that's here. It's like they're changing it to just that as far as I'm aware. But
So like they're gonna give you a card, like the size of a credit card.
yeah, it's basically like, hey, you did something. Congrats.
Right. Just give you a nice little. It's not even like a handwritten note. It's just a generic.
I got a note. I got a note with this, but it wasn't like a handwritten one.
Okay, well, we need to step on it then because
Yeah,
we're
you gotta get
9,000
going.
subscribers away. We need to get
Yes.
there quick. All right. So listen, get your friends, hide your wife, hide your kids, get them out there, hit the subscribe button, and let's continue to grow over here on Side Scrollers. We need the last. I mean, that would be the most Side Scrollers thing ever is to open up and get to the 100,000 only to get like a little pin that you have to wear.
Congrats, you did something. That's like a 25-cent pin. Classic
man.
YouTube move.
Classic. Yeah, that's right. They just give you a business card. Congratulations. Way to go.
Yeah.
Well, look, glad everybody's joined us, Vera. It's a pleasure to have you. Congratulations on your tremendous success in the grind. The grind is real and the grind is great.
Yep.
With that said, I would like to remind everybody we are live over on Rumble. We also have an X account, which you could have found out that Vera was going to be on the show if you followed us over there. And you can watch us over there, which is great. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do, so follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, some sort of violence upon you and your zucchini and your sandwiches.
The zucchini and the sandwich don't go off.
What do you mean? It's a side dish. You can have a zucchini. Maybe you have zucchinis in your sandwich.
No,
Zucchini's good.
Zucchini's great.
Do not diss the zucchini, Craig.
No. I like the zucchini.
The zucchini can go in the sandwich. It's fine. I'll make you a sandwich and I'll put zucchini in
a sandwich, though. I don't know about that.
I feel like you can do it.
I don't know. I have to
grilled
disagree.
Zucchini.
I think it's possible.
That's next level bullshit right there. I don't know how I feel about that. Zucchini on the side, sure, but most importantly, yeah. I mean,
I will make a zucchini sandwich now.
Okay, do it.
Please let us know how it goes.
I will. Don't do it. Do it live.
Please do it live. We're gonna start side dishes.
With like a whole bunch of stuff on my desk, plops it in mayonnaise or whatever. Just starts making a sandwich in front of everybody.
I would love that. I would absolutely love
Definitely not gonna do that. Like knowing me, I would spill something like all over my stream deck or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't need to.
Well, when we get together and we have like do a little content house or something, we'll definitely do side dishes, a channel or show where Blabs can create sandwiches or side sandwich.
Sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Be great.
I am female. I'll make sandwiches.
I'll be over there. Blaz, where's my sandwich? Blaz making a sandwich. I'll just
bring a beer and a sandwich. Ta-da!
All right. We also are live over on Kick, and you can listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And of course, I encourage you to find us over on sidescrollerspodcast.com, which is great, where it redirects to our locals page where you can sign up, and it is a free account, but you also get notified whenever we go live over there, which is great. Over 2,000 folks hanging out over there, which is wonderful. But 91,000 just normal men over here on YouTube. If you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button and continue to join as we are looking for just normal men who are looking for common sense in the video game entertainment and pop culture space. Let's do our best to get to 1,000 likes and 25 memberships today. Man, oh man, are we going to get it today? Quick reminder, we do have our new Normal Man t-shirt available right now in the description. A lot of you guys have been picking that up. It's like, think of it like your uniform. You can go out and wear your Normal Man t-shirt, which is great. You can also pick up your American Pride shirt or your Let Us Skateboard t-shirt that my daughter put together. And by the way, new design coming from my daughter very soon, coming up probably next month, which is
that's great. Exciting.
Yeah, it's really, really good. She did a side scrollers logo, which is very 10-year-old, and I appreciate it. So yeah, we got a lot going on. Glad everybody's found us today. So I'm crackling again today, huh?
Oh
yeah, little.
I'm telling you, it's when you hit go live and you actually live stream. There's something funky going on.
Pull me down.
It's so weird. It's so bizarre.
Man, that's crazy.
It's just weird. It's Rachel Zegler. It's weird.
Oh my gosh. I have PTSD thinking about her.
It's weird.
She does not like Gal. Did you see the images of her at D24, like standing next to Gal, and she's just like looking at her, like giving her the side eye, like, I wish you'd shut up. Yeah. She clearly does not like Gal.
I feel like they need to swap the roles.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
We talked about this yesterday with Flash, and I think he nailed it when it comes to Rachel Zegler. She's like an LA 3, and Gal Gadot is a Hollywood 10, right?
Yeah.
She's like smoking hot. So when the evil queen goes, who's the fairest of them all? And the mirror has to look back and go, you, because you're hot as shit. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. She may be loony too, but she is extremely, extremely beautiful. Wonderful. Like, man, who's the most attractive person in Hollywood right now? I mean,
right now?
Yeah, man or woman?
I don't know.
They're kind of like out of it now, aren't they?
And why is it Jake Gyllenhaal's
that their faces change every year, which is the problem. So an actress I might be thinking of 5 years ago looks nothing like she does today. That's the issue.
Oh, chat says Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney is definitely
Glenn
up
Powell's a babe. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true.
The babe. You know what? All right, here's a real question for the two of you. Scarlett Johansson, like peak Scarlett Johansson or peak Gal Gadot?
Oh, Gal Gadot by a mile.
Yeah, I gotta go
Wow.
with Gal. I mean, Scarlett Johansson is very, very pretty. Don't get me wrong, but it's got to be Gal.
Scarlett Johansson is fine. She's always been like attractive, I guess. But
Damn, I did not expect this from Craig. I thought he would have been like, "Oh, they're so hard, both of them. What do I do? How do I pick?" No,
like
wow.
she's like nice looking, but like Gal
Nice
Gadot.
looking.
That's like
Nice
if you're giving
looking.
her a 5. You're like, ugh, she's nice looking.
Dude, like I think they're both 10s, and this guy over here is
Hold
like,
on.
she's mid.
Right.
Here's the thing. She has crazy eye going on. Like, look, like she does have crazy eye, and it's I don't know, like she's fine.
I don't know. I gotta
Fine.
disagree. She's way better than fine.
Yeah. Dude,
mean-
her in Iron Man 2.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
The hair,
that is
everything.
peak MCU woman.
And you're like, she's fine. Like, are you sure you're not gay,
Jeez.
man?
No, she's really good looking. Okay, let me be clear.
Well, now he changes his
Yeah,
tune when he
now
brings
that
up
I'm
that
calling him a gay
Sorry.
man, he's like, never mind.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't see this picture.
Now you have. Now your opinions changed.
Right. No, she's okay. I'll say this. Scarlett Johansson is like an 8.9, right? Like she's really good looking. Really like on the scale of
No,
Zoolander.
No. Type in Scarlett Johansson Iron Man 2 and then tell me.
All right, hold on.
That's what I thought.
This is important conversation we must
Is
have
this a
right now.
serious
It is.
conversation? You're
Hold on.
telling me. Yeah,
We're gonna get canceled for objectifying women now, though.
This is fine. Look, you're telling me she's fine. Are you shitting me right now? Look at her.
Okay, I'm going to be very honest with you. I think the pictures before are way better than this picture right here.
What?
Yeah. What? I think like this is what I know. I've never seen Scarlett Johansson outside of these
What
like
are you gay?
Marvel movies.
The only problem I have with the movies is that her hair goes from being a poodle to being beachy waves. And I think that those are the big difference in those pictures. Because if you look at her, like when she's in the boxing scene, her hair looks completely different.
Oh yeah, you're right. They're going
Yeah.
from like super curly. to, like,
Yeah.
That's true. I
Yeah.
never noticed that.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
prefer this than like her like Infinity War. Like she looks
Oh,
like
yeah,
she had
100%.
chlorine in her hair and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I know how to describe this. Scarlett Johansson has classic beauty, right? She would look beautiful in any era. Okay, whether it's the 1920s or the 2020s, she is beautiful, right? Gal Gadot is just smoking effing hot, right? I think that's the best way to describe
I
it.
think I disagree. I think those are switched. I think
Really?
I think
Okay.
I think those are switched, at least in my opinion.
I think
I
they
think
both can rock it
Well,
from like
true.
any era.
True.
See, this is a hard conversation.
It
here.
is. It's a tough one.
We have very important conversations here on
Mm.
Side Scrollers. Very important, and I'm glad we're discussing this topic early in the show because we
I
need to-
demand a poll. You know what? You guys deserve a.
yes.
True.
We may just go 90 minutes talking about Gal Gadot versus Scarlett Johansson. I mean,
Oh
this is
yeah,
an
we
important
could sit
conversation.
here and do a tier ranking of the
Mm-hmm.
actresses in Hollywood.
Yeah, we could.
Totally.
I like how you're thinking, and this
Yeah.
is why not? Why
I
the
mean,
hell
we
not?
basically know Sydney Sweeney's going to be S tier, but that's okay. There's other women that need appreciation too.
I have an idea. MCU ranking of all the females.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because now we have
That's
all
a
the ugly
great
ones,
idea.
right? But like,
Yes.
Q is still cute. She's like one of the few cute ones left. So who's
All right,
Now
well-
the controversial take is going to be where Brie Larson goes.
Oh, Brie Larson.
There
mid
are
as
people that
hell.
think that she's pretty, but then there are
Ah!
people that think that she's mid.
Nah, listen,
Hold on.
Craig. Can we do an MCU women?
Yes. Yes.
Listen, I would just like to point out that you proposed this and not
Yeah,
me. So when people
that's
come
fine.
after me and they say, "Meh,"
Craig
you
is
know?
still sexist.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or gay, since he said Scarlett Johansson is fine.
Okay,
Oh,
hold on.
Gosh.
That
I'm
one-
never gonna
that one
forgive
I'm
you for that
still-
one.
Yeah, it's still
Just
Yeah,
saying,
that
like-
one was
years.
crazy.
She is fine. She's fine. If I can go back to the 90s. Blas, you ever heard that before?
Fine.
Yeah, you fine? Hold on. Look, so you got Scarlett Johansson. I think timeless beauty is the way to describe Scarlett Johansson, right? You have Gal Gadot smoking like exotic beauty. Like that's the thing about Gal Gadot. Exotic.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good word for her. She is exotic.
She has those eyes, right? Then you have Sydney Sweeney, American beauty, right? Straight up America, right? Everything you want in an American, right? Right there, you got your, that's what. Then you brought up Brie Larson. Brie Larson is like
because
a
we were
2.
talking about MCU tier rankings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't rank her very high, but if we do an MCU tier ranking, then you have to rank her.
Well, then,
Yeah.
but she's like D tier.
I'd probably
like
put her
that.
in a C. I mean, I think she's looked pretty at times, like the Captain Marvel premiere with that blue dress. She looked good there, but that's like the only good photo I could think of her.
Well, yeah, we forgot about Kobe. She's good too. There's so many of them, guys. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Brie Larson.
Yeah. neither
Oh,
am I.
Haley Atwell, good job, chat. Yeah, Haley Atwell's a 10 on 10
Oh,
also.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
This
she's
Kobe.
pretty.
This Kobe smolders. I just watched her in the Jack Reacher movie the other day on Netflix.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, she is pretty for sure. Anyways,
Anyway, women.
welcome to Side Scrollers, everybody.
Side
Ma-
scrollers.
That's right. Vera, maybe next time you're in, we'll have that. We'll do the tier ranking of Marvel MCU females. It'll be good.
Totally. I'm
And then
down
we can
for
follow it up with the males, so the internet doesn't go like, "What are you doing?"
This will be
Sexist.
fun.
Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Somehow, Craig will stick Jake Gyllenhaal in. Wait, he is in the MCU. Oh my god,
is.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in the MCU. You could totally rank him, Craig.
Is he?
Yeah, he was in Spider-Man 2 with Tom Holland.
That's right.
He's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
villain. Oh my god.
Yeah, but hold on.
Maybe.
Is it Jake Gyllenhaal in Roadhouse or Jake Gyllenhaal in Spider-Man 2?
Well, he's got a
Interesting.
fishbowl for a head in Spider-Man 2, so.
Just
Yeah.
saying. There's different versions. I'm just saying. That's right. Just as for Craig, none of them compared to Jake. That's right. It's Jake's abs in particular. That's why we need to be very clear. His abs were ridiculous. Well, look, we're off to a great start today. Fun. Glad everybody's with us. Blabs, while we can talk about the females in MCU all day long, please fill us in on today in video game history because we got a banger.
Oh, yeah. Today and tomorrow are actually quite the hits, if I do say so myself. So, August 13th, we have Super Mario World turning 33 years old, as well as Super Nintendo, oddly enough, not really, also turning 33 years old. And then we have Disney's Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse, which is now 22 years old, releasing back in 2002. So, happy birthday, Super Nintendo.
The GOAT. The GOAT.
Exciting.
Yes. Now, as always, Blabs, it's always good to point out the games that you did not include on your list today. I know. But can you pull up that list one more time, please? Because you chose Disney's Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
On the launch date of the Super Nintendo. So some noticeable exceptions that you did not include. Instead of choosing Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse.
Listen, I did it for Flash.
Take that shit off the screen.
What do you mean take that shit off the screen? There's Super Nintendo and Super Mario World. Are you calling those shit, Craig?
No.
Console, great game. So nostalgic.
Some games that you missed include F-Zero.
Oh, so amazing.
Wait. I just want to point out, I put this list in the document and you're telling me I missed it?
Yeah.
Just so we understand what's going on here, guys. I didn't actually fail the job. I overachieved it, providing you with a bunch of other games that was released today.
Labs.
I want my victory here, Craig.
Great job, Labs.
That's right.
But F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Super Mario World, obviously Super Nintendo, other games that are very noticeable. I mean, today may be in the world of video game releases, today's date, August 13th, may be one of the best dates ever. We have the entire Super Nintendo, Legacy of Kain for the PlayStation. We have Bionic Commando Rearmed. Vera, did you ever get a chance to play Bionic Commando Rearmed?
I have not actually.
My God, that game is phenomenal.
I'm going to screenshot it. I'll stream it.
Listen, I don't know if you can download it. It was a downloadable game, and maybe
you can get anything on the internet.
Good point, Vera.
Yeah.
Get on those high seas. Bionic Panda Rearmed, phenomenal. Darksiders 2 and Disney's DuckTales Remastered. My, oh my. Banger after banger after banger. And we got like
Right?
2. So yeah, lots of good stuff today to choose from. So,
Yeah,
I went with
definitely.
a variety. I'm just pointing that out. I went with Super Nintendo and then the GameCube instead of solely doing Super Nintendo. So,
And to highlight the Super Nintendo, I showed this in the pre-stream, but
ooh, look at
I have
that.
one in box right there. You guys never get to see all of my stuff up there, but I do have a lot up there. But there it is. There she is. I got
Ooh,
her.
Look
I'll
at
give
that.
a bonus for
She's just
tomorrow.
chilling.
There's a console behind Vera that has a birthday tomorrow.
Ooh, I don't know which one.
That's a
why,
tease.
that's why I'm saying tomorrow's also a very interesting banger.
Ooh, exciting.
So, Vera,
Yes.
I always like to play the price charting game because you said you have a Super Nintendo in box.
Yes, I
that is-
do.
that
It
is
is in
wrapped?
box. It is not wrapped, but it's never been opened.
Okay. So it's complete in box, not in
Yes.
plastic cellophane or
No.
whatever, right? So I'm looking over on price charting, and you said pre-show that you would never sell this.
Oh, I
But-
would never sell anything that's in this room now. I would never sell it, but
Okay. Well, just for reference, I'm looking over here on price charting some of the various things with your complete in box. This column over here on the right, the high price is probably what you'd be going for here. You have your Super Nintendo system, $1,500, right?
wow.
Right there, which is great. If you let's see, you
And
said
it is a Super Mario World pack-in.
right, which is the OST of G, which is like very OG, right? Now I can't seem to
Yes.
find that outside of, I guess it's just the Super Nintendo system, I guess.
I
So
think it was there if you scroll down a little bit. I think it was there.
I saw the Mario
Oh, maybe not.
All-Stars.
Yeah, there are a bunch of Mario ones, but not. Yeah, no, I'm wrong, I guess.
Well,
Oh, right.
if you ever,
Oh, yeah, right there. Super Mario World set, but it doesn't have a price.
yeah, no prices on that. So
Priceless to
I
me.
guess not. Yeah. So, anyways, if you're ever in it for a pinch, just saying,
Oh, never
Never.
ever sell it. No.
no. I like your I like you holding down the morals here when it comes to.
Oh yeah, I
have.
I have too much stuff. I'm not getting rid of any of it.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about today, in addition to the Super Nintendo birthday today. But first, I want to point out that Cyber Glitch came in as a brand new member. Thank you so much. Appreciate your monthly support over there. That is spectacular. Javi says, Blabs, have you watched The Terminator? I'm going to answer that for you. No, she hasn't.
Oh, Blabs, we need to have a girl movie night because there are too many good movies that you haven't seen.
All starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Hey, Vera,
She's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
no, she doesn't like this being brought up on the show.
Yeah.
It's a sensitive subject, and I get it.
Oh.
All right. Benjamin came in, says they give you Jimmy Dodgers for free. If you know, you know. Is that a reference, Vera? Do you understand that, or does anybody understand?
I do not.
I don't know, Jamie
It's
Dodgers.
Jamie Dodgers, not Jimmy Dodgers.
Thanks, Jamie Dodgers. Jake came in with the 10 Australian money. Says congratulations, Vera, on the milestone. Enjoying your
you.
bully playthrough.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's a
Blabs and
great
Craig.
game.
Yeah, I don't think that would be made today because we're anti-bullying.
Oh no. Yeah.
Hey, Blabs and Craig, appreciate all you guys do for staying normal in a world of crazy. My favorite show on YouTube. Have a great one. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you, man. Your support is greatly appreciated, and why we can do this every day. Absolutely ready came in and says, speaking of zucchinis, an Irish TV host was holding one this morning while interviewing the man with the world's largest D. What happened to society?
I need to Google this.
Please, Blabs, see if you can find out more information about that. Kratos came in and says, Scarlett has a weird nose. Loses points for that. Okay. SNK came in and says, team blonde or brunette? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm team brunette.
Brunette.
Yeah.
For
My
sure.
wife's brunette. You got to go with your wife, right? So.
Yeah. Correct
Margarita.
answer.
That's right. There you go. Don't forget Olivia Munn. Thanks, Market Reality.
Beautiful.
Silverado came in and says, blonde brunette. I'm team redhead. Always have been, always will be. Thanks, Silverado. Appreciate that. Benjamin says, where does Tatiana Maslany go?
Bottom of the barrel.
I'm not familiar with this.
That's She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah. The
She's not
twerker.
cute.
Nah. I mean, I don't think she's an F tier, but I think she's like a maybe end of C.
I appreciate the objectification with
No,
it.
but I
What's
see
going
her
on.
personality just absolutely ruins it anyway.
Well, we're talking about just looks here.
yeah, but,
Otherwise,
like, it's
90%
really
of them
hard
would
to
be F
separate.
tier.
Mhm.
I still think she.
Yeah. Javi came in and says Brie Larson is a 2, but her feet's a -10. Thanks, Javi. Grumpy Rat came in and says redheads always win in my book. Thanks, Grumpy. Steven came in and says, guys, I have a crazy idea. Both Scarlett and
Yes.
Gal are hot. Confirmed. True. Mark, as a member for 1 year, says check out the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Isa Gonzalez was basically playing a Gal Gadot role, and she was way better actress. But was she Gal Gadot? That's the big question. Ultra V came in with a 5, says, whenever I see Haley Atwell, I get why Captain America stayed in the past. Thanks, Ultra V. Appreciate that. Stay Home Hippo says, hello, bro, Jachos, normal men in Spanish. Vera as a guest equals great stream. Yesterday's normal news was great, Craig. Hope to see more in the future. Yeah, I'm going to do I think I'm going to do one every day this week. If you guys missed it, which most of you did, because it was the lowest performing video we've done in a while. I did like a news recap show in the afternoon. So be on the lookout of that. I'll probably be releasing it around 3:30 or 4. It's kind of a recap of things that we talked about, as well as some other things that happened between the end of the show and the release of that video. So I just called it like normal news. So be on the lookout for that. It's a blatant copy from a thumbnail perspective of Philip DeFranco's. It's a picture of Amigo. I'm like, ooh, with, anyways, just look out for that today around 3:30 or 4 Central Time. Speedy K came in and says, you could call the food section side scrollers scrolling sides and have the food rolling past like sushi shops do. You ever been to a sushi shop, Vera?
Yeah.
With those things rolling around?
The conveyor belt.
Yeah. What about you, Blabs?
I don't like sushi.
Wow.
No Blabs.
So
We'll just calm down.
I'll probably try it in Japan because it'll be actually 10 times better over
Probably,
there, and
yeah.
I'll be like, I like the ones from Japan.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Hayden came into the 10, says, Vera, congrats on 100K. Let's go.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Very exciting.
Speedy Cakes came in at the 10, says, speaking of old tech, I recently got a copy of Dino Crisis 2 and some AV cards for my PlayStation 1 and 2. And now I'm waiting on the memory card because PS1 doesn't save the PS2 cards because they have a different format. Well, Speedy Cakes, good luck with that. And enjoy your Dino Crisis 2. Shalaris Blackheart says, hail side scrollers. 2024 may suck in a lot of aspects, but it is the year of my favorite video game console of all time. Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh, video game character of all time, Shadow the Hedgehog. Hoping Shadow Generations and Sonic 3 are banger releases this year. Thank you very much, Blackheart. That is outstanding. Ian came in with 10 gifted memberships. Let's go. Thank you, Ian. If you guys got a gifted membership, make sure you say thanks. Blabs has a little ooh for you. And DV Wild came in with the 10, says, if you're going to do an MCU fine lady tier list, you got to get Philip Chan from Project Eggroll. He already did one already on his channel, and he'd have some great objective insight. All right, nice. Get a little Project Eggroll going on. Thanks for that, DB Wild. All right, we do see all your super chats, all your direct donations, and all your Rumble rants. We will get to every single one before the end of the show. But we've been dilly-dallying around talking about Super Nintendo and hot women and MCU. But now it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News.
Hard News.
All right. So right off the bat, we have some really important news coming out of the internet today. Look, we've talked about some important fragrances over the last week or so, Blabs. Do you recall some of the fragrances we've talked about?
Yeah. So we talked about the Auntie Anne's pretzel perfume coming out. And then we also talked about the laptop perfume, basically like the fragrance, whatever you want to call it, a couple weeks ago. And now we have a new one for you today.
That's right. So, Vera, did you see the pretzel fragrance that was popping off on Twitter a couple days ago?
I saw it. Yep.
So, question for you. Would you rather your man smell like a pretzel from Auntie Anne's or mayonnaise?
I mean, I think the answer is clearly a pretzel.
Yeah.
That's
As-
disgusting.
So, do you know who Will Levis is? And you probably don't, and I don't know why
I
you
do
necessarily
not.
would. Okay. So, Will Levis is he is a quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. And he played at Kentucky in college and Penn State. And he was pretty prominent guy, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, he's big on mayonnaise. He's huge on
Why?
I don't know.
That's
Like-
my first question.
Listen, mayonnaise is terrific. It's like
Mayonnaise is good, but do you want to smell like mayonnaise?
absolutely not. That's just weird.
Well-
I can't really see this doing very well unless the really odd, niche people actually collect for the sake of the, perfumes and the oddities and uniqueness of certain scents. But
Right.
Well, the thing about him was he likes mayonnaise specifically in his what, Blabs? What do you think he likes his mayonnaise in?
I would hope it's a sandwich and not something really kinky.
Very, you got any questions? It's not a sandwich, or any answers? It's not a sandwich.
No, I don't think so.
In his
To be
shoe?
honest.
He likes his mayonnaise in his coffee.
I'm done. I'm over it. That's disgusting. No, that's it. I'm good.
That's literally his deal, and
oh my gosh.
he loads it up. I mean, when you see it, it's like one of those things where he just lets it go. Blabs over here. Like
There's some
shot.
things that you shouldn't
That's
tell people
disgusting.
from your private life,
throw
and I
up.
think that's one of them.
Oh my god. What the
You okay,
fuck?
Blabs?
No.
That's not all right.
That is not okay. Maybe some things, ought to be illegal. I think that's one of them.
Well, I'm glad you.
Bro, I almost just threw up in my mouth a little bit just thinking of that.
It's nasty.
Really?
That is
Oh.
disgusting.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find video of it, because I think it is important to showcase him actually putting his mayonnaise in his coffee. Here it is right here. This is from
I don't want to watch.
ESPN. No. You should definitely see it because it's important. So he actually takes the coffee here, and will just slap this like look at how much he puts in there.
Oh God, that's just grotesque.
Where did she go?
Oh
Where
my
did
God,
Blabs
she's
go?
done. She does not want to deal with this anymore. She quits.
She's
I
literally.
It's disgusting.
Oh no. Did you see the chunks just falling into the coffee? Oh, stop.
Do you see how clumpy it was? Did you see how
Oh
nasty
my
and clumpy it was?
gosh.
Look at how clumpy and nasty it is. Blabs, she's leaving.
It's not
Blabs
even if
is-
you stir it, it's not going to like mix in. So he's just drinking chunks of mayonnaise.
Oh my god. Yeah, Blabs, you're gonna drink as Vera just said, drinking chunks of mayonnaise.
Yeah, 'cause it's just like eggs and it's just eggs and oil. Like that's not gonna mix in. It's gonna be sitting on the top and it's gonna be
God.
chunky. It's like cottage cheese. You're sounding like cottage
I'm just gonna wait
cheese.
until we change topics and I'll come back.
No.
Oh, hold on. But you do need to see
He's
him drink
really
it.
wanting you to see this.
God.
Yeah. Because this is why he has the look at it. It's fine. He just drinks it up, ready to go. Look at
Oh
that.
God, it's adding it. That just looks disgusting. I'm no.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Anyways, so that's why Hellman's has the new mayo scented stuff, which is the fragrance. And that's why it's Will Levis. He is a
Canceled.
mayonnaise connoisseur.
That is not all right.
So we always like this. Blabs, you doing okay?
No, that was not okay. I did not expect this to go that way. I just thought we were gonna laugh at Mayo Perfume. Instead, I
No.
saw chunky coffee.
Mm-mm.
Ah!
Well, I'll tell you this. You like mayonnaise, Blabs, right?
Yes.
You like coffee. Just saying.
That's so much better.
That's like
Same.
saying, "Oh, I like pickles, so I'm gonna add pickle juice to coffee." That's just not. You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, exactly. Craig, wrong.
It's a fair
Y-
point.
Yes.
Fair point. That's a very fair
Illogical,
point,
Craig.
Vera. All right. Well, I'm glad we were able to survive that, Blabs. Congratulations.
I'm fine now. No, that was
All right. Well,
I
file
will
this.
not forgive you for about 4 hours.
What did I do?
Showing the chunks.
You literally put that on the run sheet today.
I didn't know there was a whole backstory too. I was just like, look, more perfume, hee ha ha. No, there's a backstory and it involves chunks.
Blabs, if there's one thing that you can count on me for, it's
It's the
substance.
chunky.
It's substance. I dig deeper,
Literally.
Blabs.
Substance.
Oh my god. Just saying. Like it's rough stuff, man. That's rough.
Ugh.
Anyways, well, let's if we could all move on from that. Everybody. By the way, JWT says that's disgusting. Why would you do that to Mayo? There you go. Love that. Torgo says never again, Clag. No more coffee Mayo. Listen, it's not me. It's not me. I didn't do it. And Benton says Melanie Felony would put unsalted butter in there. Yeah. Well, Melanie Mac. There is a thing called I don't know. It's like a coffee where you put butter in it, and it's actually very, very popular. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Well, if people like it, they're allowed to drink it. I'm not saying you can't drink the mayo coffee or the butter coffee. That's cool that they like it. I wouldn't drink it though.
I want off this planet now.
Yeah.
It's time for me to go.
Suddenly,
I
have to
Mars.
leave the live stream. This was great though.
Hold on. Wait, Blaz, we have men fighting women, right? In boxing. We have chaos happening all around
I
us
draw
at
the
all
line at
times.
chunky mayo and coffee. Yes.
But that was the line. That's what did it.
Yeah.
That's for Mayo.
Time to flee to Mars. Elon, beam me up to Mars. Let's go.
Jake, I did not break Blabs.
I think you did.
No. Stuff
I
like
just-
that just grosses me out.
I just present facts. That's what happens. That's all. There you go. Art says, imagine on your first date, he's tall, athletic, rich. The conversation's going well, and suddenly he puts mayo in his coffee.
What a wasted opportunity.
Would you girls walk out if you were on a first date with Will Levis? Yeah.
Bye.
There wouldn't be a first date, judging by those clips on social media.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we're doing a ranking of hot girls in the MCU, like Will Levis's girlfriend, saying pretty attractive. Don't know if she does the mayo, anyways, but
Maybe he has a big dick and it compensates. Who knows?
Maybe.
What? We were all thinking it.
Craig is out of place here. He doesn't know what to do.
Listen, I can guarantee you Vara was also thinking the same thing. She's like, compensation here.
Well, there's
What
got to
is
be
it?
something.
Yeah, there's got to be
What
something. for
same
him.
person puts mayo in their coffee?
Mhm.
Ian came in with the 50 euro money. Says if you put mayo in your coffee, is it considered impolite to chew it loudly? Gross. Oh my God. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoy your wonderful reward there. Courtesy of Court8610 over on TikTok. Ian, thank you so much for your monies and your support. It is greatly appreciated. And now let us all move on from the mayo and the coffee.
Thank you.
File this under the things you did not expect to see today. Snoop Dogg teaming up with Jaleel White, a.k.a. Urkel, to promote Urkel's new Purple Urkel marijuana line. I love the idea of Jaleel White going full Urkel here with full Urkel face and Snoop Dogg in the background. Urkel's honestly looking pretty good for being
is
2024. Let's be real. It does look very family matters of them. Blabs, do you know Urkel?
I do know Urkel.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
That's right. That's right, Blabs. Very good. So anyways, pretty fun stuff, I guess. If you're into the weed, you can find the Purple
Into
Urkel
the
from
weed. If you're down with the weed.
Snoop Dogg's hilarious, so I can't wait to see the promotional material for that.
It's been really interesting to see the Snoop Dogg like the ebbs and flows of his career, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's almost like he's like Grandpa Snoop now. He has gray hair and stuff, but he's still like, hey, I'm a gang banger, whatever, gang banger. Like that was his MO in the 90s. Was he was from the hood and from the streets and all that stuff. And now he's kind of like seen as family friendly with Martha Stewart and Jaleel.
Yeah.
It's like
That was an interesting collaboration with Martha Stewart.
right.
I just want to point out, chat's saying this is a few years old already. Craig.
Oh, okay.
You've been
cool.
bamboozled.
Greg.
No, I didn't listen.
Hey, I didn't know.
I'm just
to be
telling you
fair.
what I
didn't
saw.
know
Listen, it is
Listen,
what
we
it
got
is.
to talk about Urkel and Snoop. Fine.
Yeah. Okay, well, if it's a few years old, then please tell me if anybody's tried the purple Urkel strain of weed. Please let me know
Craig
how
should
it
do
is.
it on stream.
I think that can you do that on stream?
Why not? Try it on locals.
And locals.
A
yeah.
locals exclusive. Craig gets high for the Urkel and Snoop Dogg.
Gets high and then plays You Laugh, You Lose. Then he has to owe the chat something.
Nah, he's got to get high and then he's got to play some really hard video game.
I've never been high before.
This is a perfect opportunity for you to try.
Yeah, I've never smoked anything. That's not in my wheelhouse. Although,
There are edibles, Craig.
I know,
Anything about
Blaz.
smoking.
You're very aware of you loving the edible.
I have a funny story about that one day.
One day.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see. We have another birthday today, which is kind of interesting. 27 years ago, a really big show premiered on TV, specifically Comedy Central. Vera, when I say Comedy Central and big show, that's still on the air today. Any idea what that show would be?
No.
I'm talking about paper clipping and all South Park. 27
South
years
Park.
ago today.
I love South Park. South Park's so hilarious.
The interesting thing about South Park is that it's almost been like grandfathered in. The idea of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, like they treat everybody equally, and that's the way it should be. And everyone's like, South Park's so funny because they make fun of everybody equally.
They do, yeah.
And that's the way it should be. Everybody should have
100%.
that leash. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have Blabs? Do you have any South Park memories?
I don't even know if I watched an entire episode of South Park in my life. I've always seen clips and things.
You didn't
right?
end up watching the Disney one from a few months
No,
ago?
I ended up only watching the clips on Twitter.
That one was hilarious.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched the whole thing. It just was never really for me. Like as a kid, I never really saw it growing up, and so I just never around it, and it just doesn't really interest me anymore. Like they've all kind of, in my opinion, like they peaked. All these show peaked. Family Guy peaked. So Simpsons.
Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of those shows peak based off of when you watch them growing up, right? Like The Simpsons have been on for 30 something years, right? Whatever it's been since 1991, 33 years or whatever it's been. And most people say like seasons like 6 through 9 were the best of The Simpsons. But, I think if you were to talk to a different generation, they'd be like, oh, seasons 27 through 34 are the best. You know what I mean? A lot of that's tied to nostalgia and all that stuff. But I think South Park has been pushing boundaries for a long, long time, and I appreciate that, man. I think that's
I've loved South Park for so long, especially their video game ones, like I think it's called Make Love Not Warcraft, the World of Warcraft episode, and then of course we had the Disney one not very long ago. Of course, not every single episode or joke is going to land, but I feel like they've had a really good run with South Park.
I would say probably one of the best runs, period. I mean, they've been on forever. Their media has been great. Their games have been hit or miss. Recently, they've been very good. But they had the Stick of Truth, which was a decade ago now. Then they had the Fractured Butthole. Remember that a few years ago as well. So they have South Park Snow Day just released this year.
Yeah, that released recently. It was really fun.
Okay. Did you played it?
Yep, I did.
Cool. Oh, nice. Well, South Park, 27 years old today. Another classic franchise, which has seen its ups and downs over the years, is Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, the original, is a classic. Vera, do you have any Ghostbusters memories?
Oh, I've always loved Ghostbusters. And I know this might be, I feel like over the past couple years, the opinion has shifted on Afterlife a little bit. I loved Afterlife. I thought it was really good and really paid its respects. I thought they did a fantastic job with that movie. Now, Frozen Empire, it was not as good, but Ghostbusters is amazing.
Yeah, the Afterlife one, that was the reboot from what?
Yes, that was the
Several,
reboot from 2021. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
I
enjoyed that one. That one was
Yeah, that
nice.
one was really, really good.
you think that the opinion is shifting on it to more negative?
Yeah, I think it's because Frozen Empire didn't go over as well as Afterlife did. So
Right.
there's a lot of people that are like, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. And my opinion shifted a little bit on Afterlife, but I thought they did a great job paying homage to Harold Ramis and the original cast. And I still feel like they have respected them enough. Now, the new movie, Frozen Empire, I really didn't like, Patton Oswalt and oh, I don't remember his name. There's another actor in it that I wasn't a big fan of. They added too many jokesters when they already had a cast of jokesters. But I thought that they were both pretty good. Afterlife was great, though.
So, yeah, I haven't watched the Frozen Empire one yet. I'm
Yeah.
I heard
about
it was so bad. I never bothered.
It was not amazing. That's for sure. It was like a 6.5 to a 7, but I still feel like if you like Ghostbusters, it's worth a watch.
yeah. A lot of people kind of retcon the 2016 women reboot of it, the
Oh yeah, of
Ghostbusters movie.
course.
Did you see that they recently added a subtitle to it? Like they originally called it just Ghostbusters, and they've added a subtitle to the movie.
Yeah, it's because they're really trying to distance it from the content they're doing now because like Frozen Empire was based on the real Ghostbusters cartoon, which was fantastic, and they kind of want to go more in that direction instead of that awful female focused pile of trash.
Well, they're calling it Answer the Call.
Yes.
Ghostbusters Answer the Call from 2016, which
Yes. Trying to distance themselves from it. I know Netflix also had recently greenlit a Ghostbusters animated.
well, yes, they've also this is 2 years later, but they're now ready to talk about the Ghostbusters TV show
Yes.
with Netflix here.
Yes.
And this is an animated show. Is this an animated show? It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
As far as I'm aware.
yeah.
Or at
So
least that's what it was originally touted as.
yes.
Yeah,
Sony
it's
Pictures
animation.
Animation. Yes. Okay. There we go. So yes, it is Jason Reitman, who was obviously the son of Ivan Reitman, is on board to executive produce. Does that give you pause, or does that give you some excitement? Because he's had a hit and he's had kind of a miss. I wouldn't say a miss, but
I still think that it's better to have him be a part of it than him not be a part of it.
I agree. And I would say Frozen Empire, while I haven't seen it, the reception, like you're not always going to hit home runs,
No,
like,
of course not.
and Frozen Empire may have been a double, right? And it may not have been, this is not the smash hit at the box office. I mean, $201 million is not a home run by any means with Ghostbusters, but what they're trying to do is continue a franchise here with Ghostbusters. And I got to be honest, like I think if you have people who are passionate about the product, that's the one thing we talked about all the time. Like,
yes,
you need people who are passionate about the IP, and you have, not only do you have the son associated with it, Jason Reitman, but his dad's going to be associated with it in some way, shape, or form, or provide notes in some way, shape, or form. So, I don't know your thoughts on the idea of an animated Ghostbusters show coming to Netflix sooner than later. I would imagine. Just your general thoughts there?
Well, unfortunately, Ivan Reitman has passed away.
Oh shit! Did he?
Yeah,
Did he pass?
2022. So he obviously can't give much
Oh,
feedback now. But I still feel like his son didn't direct Frozen Empire. He was just a producer. So I'm hoping going forward with this animated, he will end up being pushed up to something like a creative lead.
That's fucking hilarious. Like, Craig, Ivan is dead.
Yes, he is dead. He is dead, unfortunately. 2022.
Wow.
You're a little behind
that's
on the
fucking-
times.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. What a bonehead idea. See, what did he die of? Now I got to catch up. Did he die of?
I don't know. I mean, he was 75, so I don't know if
Died
they
of
ever
life?
had said what. No, he just died in his sleep.
Oh, that's funny. I'm thinking back to there's an old movie I have, an old movie I love called UHF. And there's a scene where this shop teacher cuts off his finger.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that movie?
Yes, I do know that movie.
Oh, it's the best. And this is the scene right here. He cuts off his finger.
You believe this? Oh, will you look at that?
That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. Just like
Just call me Mr. Butterfingers. I think it's on the floor somewhere. Oh, is my face red?
That's me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
Anyways, it's okay. Yeah, it is all right. Well, Ghostbusters animated coming soon to Netflix without Ivan Reitman, who is confirmed dead.
This has been some breaking news on Side Scrollers.
Apparently.
That's right.
But I am happy that his son is a part of it. I was sad that he didn't direct Frozen Empire. I do think that hurt Frozen Empire. Like, he was so affiliated with the first move, not the first movie, but Afterlife. He was an executive producer, he was a director, he was a writer, and now he's just basically just a producer for Frozen Empire and this animated. So I really hope that they bump him up and they give him more of a chance with this animated, because I do think that he's got a lot of ideas and of course a lot of passion in protecting his father's work.
Who is dead.
Oh no, here we go. You're gonna be stuck on it all day. Everyone's gonna be making fun of me too.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move past it. That was awesome. That was great.
Unfortunately, he isn't alive anymore.
Right.
Very
all right, let's
sad.
go. My heart broke just now. It's tough. Learning of his passing. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Today in Mr. Beast. Now, we've been following this story since it kind of started trickling out about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. This whole thing started. Let's not forget where it started, Blabs. How did the whole Mr. Beast downfall begin?
By Chris Tyson being an absolute piece of shit.
That's right. Because Chris Tyson is fucking disgusting. With that said, since then we've seen a number of different things. When it rains, it pours in the world of PR, and we've seen news come out about some workplace misconduct with Mr. Beast. There's been talk of this Amazon show, and it's been a disaster. $100 million spent, and people talking about the gameplay conditions and unfair situations and everything associated with that. And Amazon just kind of gave him the keys of the kingdom, and so it's been a giant mess up. And a lot of accusations about whether the videos he makes are authentic, or if they're scripted, or if there are various illegal elements to them, and the company as a whole, as far as gambling and lottery systems and things like that with his giveaways. And then he released there was a leaked email that came out not too long ago that, a lot of people are like, there's no way it's actually leaked. It's 100% a plant. At this point, you're dealing with the biggest YouTuber in the world. And guess what? This is from Rosanna Pansino, who's been pretty active along this whole side of things. She talks about the agency that Mr. Beast has hired, hiring Matthew Hiltzick's Crisis Management Company. And he began his PR career at Weinstein, familiar name, who is alive still in jail, I believe. No, did Weinstein die? Harvey Weinstein, is he still alive?
No, he's still alive, Craig.
Okay, well, he might as he's in dead, but he's in jail though, right? Yeah. Anyways, he's over at Miramax.
Are you okay?
I'm struggling today, Blabs. It's all right.
Do we need to hang on? Listen, we'll call Life Alert right here. Here you go.
What? No, I don't need that, Blabs. I'm good.
Well, I don't know. Usually staring at them makes you live longer, so I was trying to give you some Life Alert.
It's a good point. 10 years does work, but there's been a lot of chaos. So, anyways, shortly after he hired him, the Mr. Beast company had that quote unquote leaked email that came out. And they think that was like a strategic move to kind of rebuilding the image to Jimmy's reputation. But this came out yesterday as his girlfriend, who I didn't know Mr. Beast had a girlfriend, but it was very interesting what she said. She said, half the things that are said are not true. I wouldn't be with them if they were. But that implies
What half?
the things
Yeah.
are true.
What half is true then?
So yeah, that's the question. What exactly is true when it comes to this? And there's a lot of left on the table there, a lot of meat on the bone, if you will, when it comes to Mr. Beast. So Vera, you said you have not been following this story very closely along the way. No,
I've seen some stuff about it because it's been all over social media, but like I had my 100K celebration. I've been finishing up a lot of games. I've been covering a lot more topics than usual. So I haven't been completely up to speed on it, except for it sounds like there's a lot of pieces of shit that worked for him and lots of questionable things going on in regards to his content.
this has been pointed, and it's pointed out by the chat as well. This has been pointed out many, many times, but he has everybody has their like fake smile they put on, right? Smile, whatever, right? But he's with his girlfriend here, and I don't want to overanalyze a picture, but his smile is so fucking fake. And as pointed out in the chat, like, look at his right hand. If you're with your girlfriend, don't you like wrap your whole hand around your girlfriend instead of like have the weird fist thing going on?
Yeah, that type of like reaction is for when celebrities like fake pose around their fans so they don't get accused of sexual.
Right.
Right.
That is
Not your
so
girlfriend.
odd. Yeah, that is so odd.
Yeah.
So odd.
I think that's the thing that we're learning about this whole Mr. Beast thing. And we've talked, we have praised Mr. Beast on the show for the different efforts that he's had as far as building homes and all this stuff. But it seems like as more and more comes out with the Mr. Beast story, he just seems so fucking fake. And like every layer of this story seems so fabricated. And so I don't know. Do you, Vera, do you feel that Mr. Beast will, do you think that we'll see any downfall at all from Mr. Beast, or will he just continue to keep on chugging?
I think he has such a large platform that unless it is proven he has done something completely illegal, he is not going to face any real decline in views or popularity. I think he would have to be in jail or arrested for something in order for him to kind of see a downfall, just because his platform's so big.
Yeah, I think his audience isn't going to change because his audience is kids, right?
Yeah,
So I agree with you. I think somebody does need to be arrested. He needs to end up in jail or something along those lines that will ultimately really put, like if Chris Tyson ends up in jail, then it's like former Mr. Beast employee or right-hand man or woman is in jail for whatever, right? That could stain the reputation. But then it goes back definitely. to, will the media cover it?
Right.
I have a tinfoil moment for this, the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I think she signed some NDAs or she's been paid out.
Probably. She was probably told to make a statement, and well, that is not a good PR statement. Half the things are not true. What do you mean half?
I think she's getting paid out or she's being bought out in some sort of way that she's not going to say anything, but she knows stuff.
Oh, of course she knows.
Moment conspiracy.
No, she definitely and I think at a certain point you get to a level to where you hear about these NBA players, athletes, whatever, these celebrities who, at a certain point, anybody you meet before these guys have like one night stands with these girls, they have them sign NDAs or some sort of release or something along those lines. Like that has become a thing.
Yeah.
Some release of whatever, and yes, of course she signed something 1000% because he was already rich when they started dating. It's not like she was, she came in, while he was nothing, because she would have to have been like 12. So, which apparently from in Mr. Beast worlds is not too young. But either way, So there's today in Mr. Beast, one fake motherfucker.
We need like a video segment. Really do. Some type of animation.
Yeah.
Today in PDF file YouTube land.
Right.
That way it's generic for all of the troublesome ones.
Mm-hmm. It's yeah. As Jade says, a dating prenup. Yeah, right. And that's kind of, yes, that is a common occurrence for sure. All right, let's move on to go back to the video game world. As Vera, I know you've covered Assassin's Creed Shadows pretty in depth in the
I have, yes.
roller coaster ride associated with that. So one of the things that has been consistently it's been panned has been the authenticity around the game. And how about you give us just a quick rundown of all that?
Well, of course, since its release trailer or its announcement trailer, there's been a lot of controversy because of Yasuke and his history, because they are portraying him within the game as a full-blown samurai when there's a lot of evidence that points to him being more of a retainer than a full-blown samurai. And of course, the media is really running with that angle. I mean, we've seen a lot of, productions from Hollywood and even anime push, Yasuke as being the first black samurai. And it seems that Ubisoft decided to go in that direction. And a lot of people have not been happy with that because we don't have a lot of information on him as a historical individual, but this is the first historical playable character that Assassin's Creed has ever gotten. And you'd think that they would want to do a really good job with things like authenticity, but they're hiring people like Thomas Lockley, a historian a historian in quotes, who basically made up half of the information that Ubisoft is using on Yasuke, and he's now in hiding because he's received so much backlash. But the historians they decided to consult are complete and utter liars and fabricators, and they have been pushing the angle that, it's going to be historically accurate, but that's not the case. They keep saying that, but we know that there's been several controversies, like they're using a reenactment group's banners, and while they remove them from the game, they're refusing to remove them from the art books. They are adding LGBT romance options, very questionable. There has been complaints about inaccurate architecture, and all the while, as we're seeing this revisionist history going on, they have tried their best to kind of quell the backlash by saying, we're sorry that some people are upset with this, even though it's not truly an apology. It's basically an acknowledgement of the fact that people are upset, and they don't really care because, of course, they're not going to delay it or change the content. And it's been a mess for them, which honestly is hilarious to see. If they're not going to listen to what fans want, or follow the, again, little bits of evidence that we actually have that point to a character or an individual like Yasuke not being a full-blown samurai and being a retainer, they're going to continue to face backlash, and that's exactly what has happened. There is a petition in Japan that has over 130,000 signatures of people that are upset. We know that there's talks about boycotts going on surrounding this game, and I think it is going to be a financial disaster for Ubisoft. We don't know exactly what the budget is, but the rumor is that the budget is well over $100 million. So I guess we'll see what happens. But, they're touting, historical accuracy, when they're really just referencing revisionist history, and they're using historians who have simply made books with false information in order to make money.
Right. And that's been the irony of a lot of this stuff, as this article came out from Bounding into Comics, as the lead producer did an interview saying that we are trying to create a game that is authentic as possible, and which really flies in the face of a lot of this stuff. Says, speaking to the game's supposed dedication to properly representing its historical setting, the producer said that. And then he says, and that is also a very long process. When we build a Japanese house from feudal Japan, it is very different from, say, a French medieval house or an English one. So you have to learn as artists where things go inside feudal Japanese houses. Maybe the food doesn't go there. Like that's what they're worried about, is where the
Right.
food goes when
Right.
they should be worried about, I don't know, this guy right here, your lead character.
Right,
Uh,
exactly.
so
I mean, this statement from them is complete damage control, but they've been damage controlling for weeks. They released a statement like 2.5 weeks ago, acknowledging people were upset and they didn't really apologize. Now they're damage controlling in this way, but it's because they've got Japanese politicians who are looking into this game. They've got hundreds of thousands of Japanese gamers signing petitions. They've got Western audiences who are going to boycott it, and they see, oh my God, we're actually probably going to have a disaster on our hands. So they're trying their best to damage control and make things better. But I don't see how it's going to work. We've been asking for a Assassin's Creed game set in Japan for so long, but there are so many other better games at this point. Like Ghost of Tsushima is an amazing game. It's not quite the same, but it's still so good. I mean, if you look at the difference between these game directors and writers versus Ghost of Tsushima, the Ghost of Tsushima directors actually became ambassadors for the island because of how historically accurate the game was. It's just such a stark contrast.
well, it's been real interesting to see kind of the tug of war of information that's been going on between those who are calling Ubisoft on their inauthenticity versus the versus Ubisoft saying like, whoa, this is real, and as you said, they, the various sources that have literally just made up things about this this era, this person in particular that they're looking to portray. So it's very ironic. I think ironic is the best way to describe the statements thrown out there. And I do think that ultimately this has been reoccurring along the way. I think this will be probably one of the biggest failures Ubisoft has had in a long time.
Well, the hilarious thing is that Ubisoft had Skull and Bones at the beginning of the year. They have Star Wars Outlaws this month, and then they have Assassin's Creed Shadows November 17th, I think it is, or 16th. So they're going to have 3 major failures on their hands for this year. I think they're going to be losing a heck of a lot of money.
I would love to hear y'all's thoughts in the chat. Do you guys feel like this will be a failure, or it'll make money? Absolutely Ready says it'll make money. We'll see. We'll see.
Agree.
I think it'll make a certain amount of money
Yeah.
because there are casual individuals, and we'll just call them, for argument's sake, normies who don't look at social media and who just know the Assassin's Creed name because it's such a recognizable franchise. But I don't think it's going to be the mega hit that they were probably expecting, judging by the years of people asking for an Assassin's Creed set in Japan.
I think that's the thing to consider is, anytime you release an Assassin's Creed game, you're looking for a home run. You're not looking for a single or a double, right? You're looking for this is a major IP at a very major company in the video game space with Ubisoft, and you don't spend 3, 4, 5 years of development on a game, spending millions and millions of dollars to break even.
No.
You're looking for these games to carry your company for the next 3, 4, 5 years based off their success. And you're right. You mentioned Skull and Bones. Just a real quick hit here about Skull and Bones. This is a game that was released earlier this year. I mean, we're talking like literally. I mean, it's coming out very soon on Steam, August 22nd. But it's been released on the PlayStation 4 and 5, I believe.
I think it was just the 5, wasn't it?
Oh, PlayStation
Yes,
5 and Xbox One. But it has not gone over very well at all.
No, the first AAA or quadruple A game, complete and utter failure.
So much so that the idea was it was going to be a quadruple A game to mask the idea that the cost was $70. And because I was like, oh, it's a super special extra game with an extra A associated with it.
Yeah, well, the thing is that a lot of games now are $70, but they needed to make as much money as possible on this game because its development started. Do you know when it started, actually?
Skull and Bones, I remember it was, it's been a long time. I remember
2013 is when it started because it was supposed to be an expansion of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was
Right.
supposed to release in 2019. Then they decided in 2020 it was too outdated. And then, well, now it released in 2024 and it was a disaster.
Well, I'll tell
You're
you
right
what.
about the whole outdated stuff because I watched like some gameplay footage of it. You really can't do a whole lot of stuff. Like some stuff is just
No.
roped off. You can't even walk. You can't really explore. There's no fighting really. It's
The
big
swimming.
flop.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and
gosh.
you can
It's
just go play Sea of Thieves.
yeah,
And
it's
worse
terrible.
graphics, but at least you can do all the stuff that you wanted to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll tell you what. They're looking to move copies. Specifically, Best Buy is looking to move copies because I'm going to guess when you throw down a deal like this, they're doing a special. It's called 10 days, 10 games, $10. Have you heard about this, Vera?
Yes.
So they are every day they have a new game that is that they're launching. We're in the middle of it right now. These games include games like Madden 24. So last year's release of it. The
Yeah.
idea is that these games are $10, right?
Right.
Fitness boxing, right? From Fist of the North Star. You ever like that? It sounds like a $10 game. Sonic Superstars, and here we are on day 3. Skull and Bones, $10.
Oh.
That's not a good look.
It
Not
isn't. I mean, it's hilarious to see though, because it only released 6 months ago. If you look at something like Elden Ring that released years ago, it's still $60. It is still full price. And yeah, sometimes it goes on sale, but we're talking about this quadruple A massive live service game that they said was going to go on for years, and it's already $10. I mean, $10 is still a ripoff.
Yeah, going back 10 bucks. It should be they should just free to play it and find a way to
Yeah.
microtransaction it. So this is according to the beacon of internet information, and I use that in sarcastically. Wikipedia says Ubisoft's Yves Gaumond, who's the CEO, says to justify the $70 price tag of Skull and Bones, emphasized its status quo as a quadruple A game, despite incorporating live service elements like an in-game store, battle pass, seasonal events, and premium currency. The game reportedly cost $200 million in its decade-long development, and Ubisoft does not expect it to break even.
No. It's not going to happen.
Do you think Ubisoft is in trouble at all?
Yes. I don't think that they're like in danger of closing down or anything, but we're talking just this year like $600 million in game development costs. And obviously that's over several years, but games that equal $600 million are coming out this year. And unfortunately for them, they all are being heavily criticized. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think, again, that they're going to, face a closure or anything like that. But I do think that they are in a very financially tough spot, and they are going to have to be very careful with the next round of games that they come out with.
I feel like financially you're right. They could be in a tough spot to the point to where they could potentially sell as a company to a parent company, whether it's Sony, whether it's Microsoft. Nintendo has had a very good relationship, or they could potentially sell their IPs. I could see Nintendo picking up the Rabbids.
I think we're going to see major layoffs at the end of the year / the beginning of next year. I think that is definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Don't disagree with you at all. Speaking of layoffs, as we move on to our next story, Twitch saw some massive layoffs over the last year or so, rolling out all sorts of changes. They got rid of their community team or whatever it is with the Dear Lady and all that. That was a little bit ago.
Yeah, that was good.
But they are always. We've seen this push over the last couple of years. This idea of like, we know better than you. Right? We are here to protect you. We are a big company. We are a big website. We are a big government. And we're here to protect you because you aren't smart enough to protect yourself. And Twitch rolled that out yesterday with they're experimenting with a brand new machine learning program that encourages users to pause before sending chat messages that are potentially harmful. And the goal with this is to decrease harassment and facilitate a more positive interaction over on Twitch. And they're going to be running experiments over the next couple of weeks. And they gave this example. And, this is kind of funny, right? Are you sure you want to send this? And you are a butthead, right? Now, Twitch, obviously, they're like, hey, listen, we use this message, because they didn't want to use actual terrible language, right? I get it, right?
Yeah.
And that's, very clear. But at the same time, the response to this has been less than enthusiastic because at the end of the day, Twitch knows better than you. Vera, your thoughts on this?
I mean, I always say this. We're talking about a platform that does have younger individuals on it for sure. But I think that the problem is that you already have tools and features. If you're uncomfortable, you can mute people, you can block people, you can ignore people. And of course, YouTube already does this in the comment section. It says, do you want to send this message a lot? Which I personally think is ridiculous. I don't think that we need that hand holding, and they should be promoting the features that they have. Again, like the block, the mute, features like that.
So the response to this from a lot of folks, including this is Shred over on X. He says, let us handle this like adults. If you're going to treat your users like children, then crack down on the spicy content funneling first, which I think that's a very fair point when it comes to this.
100%.
So
Also, Twitch and Kick have the censor settings, right? Where you can just go in your back end of your settings and just be like, I don't want this word shown. And you just put a whole bunch of words. So
and
already,
it will not show it. It will block it out.
This is redundant. And the thing is it's not surprising because the other day I posted on Instagram story calling out a bunch of Harry Potter fans for being absolute haters and shit. And I wrote down the words, you're all shit. And Instagram was like, this has been reported as harassment in the past. Do you want to post this? I was like, yes, motherfucker. And I went ahead and did it anyway. But it's so stupid how we're at the point where you're all filth, you're all shit. That's being already censored as, you're
it's
not
ridiculous.
You want to double check what you
just use the features that are already there. If you don't want to see a word, just block out the word. I mean, even on Twitter/X, they do the same thing. You can have a block list, and that's perfectly fine. Just don't use those words. Don't look at those words. Block people, mute people. But to hold your hand in this way, are you sure you want to type it? I typed it in the first place. Of course I want to send it.
Yeah, this just seems redundant. This just seems like another toy handheld way of, controlling censorship and all. I'm not about it, especially when you can just the streamer can just go on the back end and be like, no, I don't want these words. I don't want this type of content. Cross off, cross off, cross off. And then those people who watch your streams can't even say it. So problem solved.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Exactly.
There's some really good questions about this. Can you opt out? This person's like, look, if somebody comes in, my mods and I can ban it, right? We can handle this. It's not a big deal. And if you're going to be a platform that fancies it, I mean, there is definitely a contradiction when it comes to Twitch, right? This idea that you have these girls and flaunting all their goodies, right? The idea of the funnel to their paid subscription on the that are all over the front page, all over the IRL section and the just chatting section, and they've tried to curb that a little bit with the idea of putting censors on top of thumbnails and such, but it's still such a cesspool. It really is, and it's been it'll be interesting to see how well this is received, because it has not been received very well by people who just look, we're adults, let us fucking handle this thing, so
yes, 100%.
All right, let's go ahead and move on from this right here. And by the way, they have been brutally ratioed on that post over on X. Speaking of a brutal ratio, we saw this letter come out yesterday over on X, which was a letter that was sent to Elon Musk by the European Commission prior to the giant Elon Musk, Donald Trump conversation on X last night. Now, this article pretty much warned Elon Musk about the contents of that conversation, saying, "Hey, we may come after you if things are if you say anything that we deem as information or hurtful," right? And George, who's been on the show several times, just pretty much just destroyed it, with that right there. But the big conversation took place last night. It was the Elon Musk, Donald Trump conversation. Vera, did you get a chance to watch any or listen to it at all?
I did. Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on it?
Besides the technical difficulties, I thought that it was, I mean, they're both very well-spoken individuals, and I thought that it went really well. I thought that it definitely brought a lot of eyes to, of course, X. I mean, judging by the numbers on the posts and the interaction on the space itself, but it also brought, it gave Trump a chance to actually freely talk about the way that he was feeling, which, of course, we see his political opponents wanting to censor him for now.
Yes, and regardless of how you feel about the politics associated with all this, or how you feel politically, there was a bigger cultural impact to what happened yesterday and last night. It was people from all over the world, not thousands, not millions. Literally, they had, as of last check, the combined views of the conversation accounted for 1 billion impressions, according to Elon Musk. Now, this is based off of the Twitter space as well, the X space, and then everybody else doing an X space of it, and on YouTube and on Rumble and everywhere else. 1 billion impressions of this conversation that took place last night. And there was a very big cultural, I think it was a very big cultural moment, because I don't know if, number one, the any sort of traditional media, they can't touch that type of distribution along the way. And I feel like it was a very big kill shot, if you will, to the way traditional media has handled it.
Yeah.
So some quick numbers that about from last night: 1.3 million live listeners to the space. How many? Like your channel's going great right now. You're doing millions of views on a month on your channel. Like what have you done in the last 30 days as far as
the last 30 days? I think it's 1.7,
right,
or 1.8,
which is spectacular, right? Yeah. Spectacular numbers. But last night during the they had what 60% of that in real time watching. It's just, I don't know if you've ever had a live stream that's had 1.3 million people listening or watching it at one point.
Right, if only.
Right. But the interesting thing about this has been the response from the traditional access media associated with this.
And even other politicians too.
Right. But you see the response to this, and there's a really interesting thread associated with this, because like I said, regardless of your political leanings, it doesn't matter. We're talking about a bigger cultural shift with how news is taken in, and the idea of a politician or any sort of person running for any sort of position at all having an open mic and just having a conversation. People are like, well, it's an interview. And I think that, Elon was like, look, it's a conversation, right? Because I want them to be natural. And I think that it sounded, Blabs and I were talking about it, it sounded like a phone call that you get to,
right. It obviously was not scripted. It wasn't, question after question. It was a discussion. And I feel like there are, unfortunately, so many politicians now who will not have genuine conversations. I mean, it's great to see that legacy news is dead and the journos are absolutely fuming over it.
Well, you've seen the, like I said, the response from traditional media has been, really what they're attacking is the the glitchiness associated with it, which Elon Musk said it was a DDoS attack that
Yes.
caused it to go down. And all the headlines focus in on glitchy this, or it's a nothing burger, glitchy chat, vitriol and falsehoods, rambling talk, rambling. Like, yeah, it's called a conversation. Glitchy. That's the thing that you see these phrases that are put out there, and it's almost like they're working in lockstep along the way.
Oh, of course.
Glitchy.
It's hilarious to see how people, from journos again to politicians, are just completely melting down over this. I mean, even Kamala's statement was, "Oh, this influential man is backing Trump," referring to Elon. Yet just a few weeks ago, she had one of the largest rappers, Megan Thee Stallion, twerking at a rally, which she had donated to Kamala, and has celebrities doing rounds for her as well. So it's like she's saying, "Oh, this influential man is backing Trump." Yeah, but there are also influential people backing you too, which is perfectly fine. That's just the way the world goes.
That's literally the name of the game.
Yeah,
right.
literally. And
Right.
then you get into her and the way that she's acted, like her statement yesterday. I mean, referring to your political opponent as a dangerous man instead of, going after him purely based on his policies and, record is a very dangerously bad precedent. And that's what people like her and, of course, the left have turned to for tactics. They're constantly weaponizing language to demonize their opponents instead of debating policy because they can't win on policy. So instead, they use fear as their weapon and say, he's a terrible person. It's fine if you like him or you don't like him, but you really should act professional and just have a conversation with people. But Kamala hasn't had a conversation with anybody the way that Trump has. And I mean, even a couple of days ago, Aiden Ross, one of Kick's biggest streamers, had a discussion with Trump as well. And he said, I'd love to have a conversation with Kamala as well. But, well, that doesn't seem to be happening.
Right. And you see, you see these collections, this imagery associated with it. They're, like I said, regardless of your political leanings, it's one of those things where you see the narrative that is pushed behind the traditional access media, and it's pretty consistent across it. You see rambling, you see glitchy, all these exact same words over and over and over again. The interesting thing to all this will be, what will the EU do? Will they have a response to this? Will the guy who sent something out, will he have a response to disinformation or whatever it may be, whatever they deem along the way? But 1 billion impressions in like
That's
18
insane.
hours. Yeah,
Oof.
just absolutely.
Good for them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
The Twitter blackout was also a thing. People were saying, I'm not going to be on the Twitter during
I don't
this
think that
conversation."
worked. I don't think so. It's hey, Blabs will of course remember this, the Hogwarts Legacy
Oh yeah.
boycott that
Definitely
epically
worked.
failed. Yeah.
Right. Here you go. John says, Craig, yesterday, I didn't realize we were a right-wing podcast. We were gaming. Craig, today, Trump got so many views on X. He is awesome. He's so awesome. I don't think at one point did I say anything about Trump being awesome, but I did point out that he got so many views on X. So,
Right.
John, once again, I appreciate your $10. And thank
Cool
you very
last
much.
name.
What's that?
He has a cool last name.
Oh,
Right.
true.
So once again, you can talk about, just like, that's the thing about people like that, is even by just talking about this, it scares them. It frightens them. You become right wing or left wing, and you see all these things. So you can't even talk about these things without being labeled, which is
Says you're
honestly,
gaslighting.
what's that?
John is saying you're gaslighting in the chat now. That's
I'm gaslighting for what? What did I say? Did I at any point did I say Trump is awesome? Have I ever told anybody who to vote for?
Nope.
No. Have I ever
I
told?
never do either. I'm not. It's like my channel. I talk about information with all of these large companies basically scamming people or ripping people off, but I never say to buy or to not buy something. I'm just there to give you information and have a conversation about what's going on in the industry.
Also, guys, don't be mean to John. He just has a different opinion. Whatever.
Yeah,
But,
it's fine to have.
No,
a
not
different
you guys. I'm
opinion.
saying the chat.
Yeah, no, I know.
Damn it, Vara, behave.
Sorry.
Right.
No,
Well,
I
and
think the point is here that we're trying to say is that it's very interesting that an entire EU is trying to was trying to stop this entire interview or phone call from even happening, and
Yeah.
that's the point that we're making here,
Which is
guys. Like,
terrible.
and also the point here, not to like just say, oh wow, but like the fact is that this takes place on social media, streaming, live streaming. That's our point here, guys, and the fact
yes,
that it got so many impressions.
there's a larger cultural impact of everything that's happening right now. And that's the reason for the discussion. Look, if Kamala Harris came on and did a discussion with Elon Musk and it did 1 billion views, guess what? We would talk about it because
Yeah.
that is newsworthy. That is the way that this works. The problem is that she won't. So that also is newsworthy because one is relying on the ability to spread the spread news through a new means of information, right? A new means of social media, and the other is relying on traditional access media, right? And I think that look, I could care less about what they talked about. It's that they talked. That's the most important thing. That's what you should take from this conversation, and not just me, but 1 billion people took that in. 1 billion people took in that conversation in the last 18 hours. So like, yeah, it's kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so there's that. Any closing thoughts on that, Vera?
No, not really. I mean, I think we've said everything that there is to say.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more quick hit here. I did want to hit this one before we roll. I'd love to get Vera's thoughts on this. We had there's a streamer named Nadeshot who has been around for a long time. He was big in the Call of Duty days. He would stream your Call of Duty when Call of Duty streaming was like the peak, right? And he's still got a fairly large audience. But he was talking about there's a clip that's gone around over the last 24 hours or so, 12 hours or so that where he's talking about the gaming community. And I wanted to talk about this and get everybody's thoughts on this as he's talking about what's wrong with video games right now. Let's go check this out.
There's something weird that has happened in the gaming community. I'm serious too when I say this. For some reason, everybody in the gaming community they want games to fail. It's very bizarre. Like the whole thing with XDefiant is still like stumps me to this day. People complain about not having enough games to play, but when new games come out, even before they have played it, they're like, that game sucks. I'm not going to play it. Listen, man, if we keep tearing down these studios trying to make good games, like, yeah, not every single one is going to be fun and not every single one is going to be a hit. But if we're sitting here like preying on its downfall before the game even comes out, what do you think's going to happen? Nobody's going to be investing in gaming and making new games. And you're not going to have shit to fucking play. You're going to be sitting here playing MW2 remastered edition. You're going to be sitting here trying to play fucking the same old games for the 1,000th time because these billionaires and fucking multi-billion-dollar publishers, they're not going to greenlight any new games, any new concepts, any new IP. I mean, I try to put myself in the shoes of myself when I was like 16 years old, but I can't. I was excited for new games when they came out. The problem is now we have too many options. We've seen too many different games. We've seen too many different ways to interact with games. Like back in the day, bro, in 2007, when Halo 3, Gears of War 1, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare dropped the same fucking year, bro, we were lined up outside of GameStops, whether it was in a mall or attached to a fucking Hollywood Video, sitting there waiting, camped out, drinking fucking Mountain Dew, waiting for these new games for the midnight release. Everybody was so excited about it. Now when new games come out, we're fucking sitting around a goddamn fire witch artifact, like doing a satanic ritual for the game to fail miserably. I don't really get it.
Vera, your thoughts on that?
This is so trash. He wants you to spend your money on games that suck just because he claims companies won't continue to make games if we don't buy them. Just a quick number, the global games market generated $183 billion in 2023. You know how much Hollywood generated? 33 billion. Okay, companies are not going to give up on video games just because some of them don't sell. The point of not buying video games that suck is because they suck, because we don't want companies to say, oh, this is okay that we're making complete and utter trash. So they're going to buy it anyway. It's why so many people boycott games. It's why so many people do not buy these games that like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. It's why people are not supporting companies like Sweet Baby Inc. He's talking about the market, and the market is very different than kind of what he's describing and remembering. Games are $70. They're not $50 anymore or $60, and there's not one game that's big coming out a year, or let's say 5 or 6, right? Or one from each company. Call of Duties are churned out now. Just because they can make a new Call of Duty every year doesn't mean they should. And yeah, I will agree that we have seen a lot of video games, and sometimes it's hard to live up to expectations, but that doesn't mean that they can stop or be lazy when it comes to making games like Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring, S tier, 10 out of 10, my favorite game ever. Ghost of Tsushima, 10 out of 10, one of my favorite games ever. Just because there are games that are coming out now that are not quite reaching those heights doesn't mean they can't again. And that doesn't mean you should just accept the fact that these companies are churning out really bad products. Like, what does he not understand? He says, oh, companies are going to, divest. They're not going to spend money on games anymore if you don't buy them. We shouldn't be forced to buy trash. And the global games market generated $180 billion last year. Do you really think companies are just going to give up because a handful of games are bad? Absolutely not.
It's pointed out in the comments, and this guy, I think this person nails it right here. Static Fox says he's missing how gaming has evolved. AAA games used to be content complete when you got them. Now nearly every AAA game is a chopped up, buggy mess, and it's obvious how financially focused publishers are. Indie games miss this entirely. Are loved because they echo older eras.
Yeah,
right?
this is a major problem. Is monetization has shifted so much. You're not getting a $70 full product. You're getting a $70 product that needed a year more development for it to be running properly, because games are poorly optimized, they're buggy and glitchy. But then you have shops, you have battle passes, you have microtransactions, you have after that DLC that you have to buy for $20 or $30. And there are games that are full price, like Elden Ring again, that, well, it's not 70, it's 60. And then they come out with a $40 DLC, but that DLC's 30 hours long. That's like an entire new game. And there are publishers that are still, going to those lengths to please their customers. But we're seeing the mainstream, a lot of them, like Ubisoft, for example, not do that. Activists are taking over the games industry. People don't want to buy games that are, politically driven. People do not want games that have narratives shoved into them, like Ubisoft titles, like with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And they just do not understand what people want. We want complete experiences. We don't want games that shove some kind of narrative in your face. And we just want good games. Games are escapism. And that's all that people are asking for. You shouldn't be forced to buy slop just because, a company might not make another game in that series. Well, that one sucked, so why would I support it, or even the next one? We can no longer blindly support companies. It's like when I was younger, every year I'd buy the newest Call of Duty because Call of Duty was fantastic, but I don't do that anymore because they've turned the franchise into trash. It's just that simple.
Well, another response from this is, it's the content creators. There's content creators and streamers out there. This is why people are so mean to these developers here. And I see this response. This is 100% a side effect from content creators and streamers. Before we had big mouth little kids and man children playing video games 24/7 online, recording themselves, we didn't have this problem. The idea of it's very dark. It's side scrollers, it's geeks and gamers, it's Cabrutus, right? The idea of being critical of like, I think that's the biggest issue here is like people are critical of these things because they are passionate about these things. They want to see these companies succeed, but ultimately they see the errors of their ways. And you know what? These companies are learning the hard way because they're seeing their games released and fail miserably. Because as you said, the idea that they don't want, gamers just in general don't want the message associated with anything like that. You see what's happening with Assassin's Creed, where if they release that with all this, people would be way more inclined to go buy it. And we talk about the Sweet Baby Inc. group all the time, but the tremendous value that is associated with that group, where if you were to put, if your game appears on that list, you have almost 400,000 people or whatever it is. The value associated with that is like $30 million or something along those lines. I did the math on it before of like that's lost sales by just being associated with.
Well, to be fair, okay, I say this all the time, that list could be used for what those activists would deem as good. They can go to that list and they could go down it and buy every single game on it.
True.
Cabrutus isn't sitting here saying you need to boycott all these games. He does say he doesn't recommend them, but it's fine to not recommend something. But at the end of the day, these activists and the people who want to support these games could just go down the list and buy every single one. But they're not, because modern audiences don't actually exist. They're just sensitive snowflakes on social media who don't buy or care about games. When people like you and me, we care about games. We don't want games to be trash. We just want them to go back to what they were. We want games to be great. I mean, unfortunately, though, yes, the companies are learning the hard way, but at least we're saving money in the process.
Golly, it's this person over here. It's an interesting take. Says I got an entire counter argument for this. At what point did our community say "fuck you, companies"? Hope you fail. Because if memory serves me correctly, it never used to be like that. I remember getting complete games a couple console generations ago. You mean to tell me that shit's still like that now? Because I beg to fucking differ. So when these terrible drug dealers start upping the price and downing the quality, we're not supposed to get mad and say nothing. There used to be a time where you could buy something just based off the box art. You can't even do that shit these days, right? You could expect quality along the way. And as Radial Drago came in, says we've been burned too many times in the past with these games, right? And you can point at channels like us or Vera or whatever, and say, oh, it's the content creators, it's the streamers' fault, right? At the end of the day, all we're saying, we're just shining a light on these people and saying like, hey, you can do better, or 100%. This is how you can do better. And at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that. It's ultimately up to the people will vote with their wallets. And in the case that you're seeing with Assassin's Creed, I think that people will vote with their wallets, and the various other Ubisoft titles coming along the way. So it's not that we're rooting for anybody to fail, because at the end of the day, if companies fail, if these companies fail, then people lose their jobs. I don't like when people lose their jobs at all. That's not fun to me. Because at the end of we talked about this yesterday, the idea that oftentimes these poor decisions that are made by these companies are spearheaded by one or two individuals who are pushing a certain narrative. And there's a lingering effect from all of those things that ultimately puts people's jobs, livelihoods, careers, and families at risk. That's not fair to them. So nobody wants to see anybody fail.
No.
At all.
No, it's like there's been so many games that have come out that I wanted to be good, but we knew basically from the trailers, the first teasers and trailers, that they were going to be failures, like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I love the Arkhamverse games. Those games are some of my favorite games ever, and this was a continuation, but it was activism-filled slop. You look at something like the Saints Row reboot. The Saints Row reboot came out and it was an epic failure because they gave up what made the other Saints Row games so fantastic in the first place. I mean, and they got kind of what they deserved, I guess, because they were filled with activists. I mean, Volition was closed down, and then Embracer was selling off because Embracer was selling off companies. And yeah, I don't want to revel in the fact that there are people losing their jobs, but they're not creating something that is worthwhile, and therefore, ultimately, people shouldn't be purchasing it.
And that's the issue. It goes back to
Muted.
You just muted yourself.
oh,
Muted.
I muted myself. But this just goes back to this Nate shot, right? Once again, nobody wants to see games fail.
No,
We
I want
just
games
a
to
better
keep doing
product.
great. I want them to make 200 billion this year. I want them to make 250 billion the next year. Games are amazing. I want games to be good, but it's these companies that need to learn how they're going to make money again. It's like they've forgotten how to get their audience to purchase products.
So I
Well-
kind of want to play a little bit of devil's advocate at the very beginning because I understand what he was talking about. So he was using X Defiant as an example, and because Ubisoft released X Defiant, which is free to play, but they also have Outlaws, all these other games, Assassin's Creed, and whatever else game they're going to release soon. And the problem with that was that everyone was reading and hating at Ubisoft that they wouldn't even give X Defiant a chance, and that's I think where he's coming from, saying, "Hey, let's give games a chance." And that's a whole other aspect. It's like, well, okay, so all
Well-
these games suck, but like at the same time, you want to boycott Ubisoft, but you're totally fine with going to see Deadpool because it's a great movie, right? So like,
Right.
I think that's the point here. It's like, well, we gotta pick and choose, and we can't just. Personally, I just won't boycott an entire company. If they release something good, I want to go see it, right? I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I'm kind of at. Like, I agree with you a whole bunch, Vera, like on all your
True.
statements. But at the same time, like, I think we should be able to give games a chance.
I
before roasting.
agree. So I say this all the time. I will or will not support something based on the individual product. Now, of course, I live stream tons of games. Like I'm gonna be live streaming Dustborn, which is the game where words are violence and words hurt, and it's clearly an activism-filled game. I'm going to be streaming Outlaws because this is my job, but I would not personally boycott an entire company because companies can change, and if we say if you change it doesn't matter, then why would they change? Now, to play into what he said, let's use X Defiant because that's the example he was using. That game was delayed 3 times. It was supposed to come out 2 years ago, and it was supposed to be the Call of Duty killer. I had played all the betas. I love the betas. And then the game came out. The time to kill was awful. The map selection was smaller than they said it was going to be. They nerfed a bunch of the guns. They made significant changes that made the game worse, and people didn't show up. When you delay a game 3 times, it's going to hurt your numbers. And this is something companies do. They'll announce something, and then we have to wait. Like we got the the little mountain like title reveal for Elder Scrolls 6 7 years ago. Okay, you can't announce a game when it's not even in development or it's not close to being done, and that was a big problem with X Defiant. They talked about it and they delayed it 3 times, and it did hurt their numbers because people were already kind of over that initial hype.
Well,
I mean,
think also
yeah.
that was because of the Call of Duty. They wanted a whole other
Yeah,
game, and then
true.
what was it? Some other game came out that took the steam right off of X Defiant. So I think that also helped. But also, like, I feel like delaying a game, yes, is bad, but at the same time, no, because let's say Hogwarts Legacy, they delayed that game a bunch of times and still did a whole bunch of numbers. So I think that honestly just depends on the IP and what other games are coming out at the same time.
Right. I mean, I do agree, but I also think that he doesn't understand that Ubisoft is a company that is not well liked anymore. That people have lost a lot of trust in Ubisoft, and I understand he's trying to defend them because he's trying his very best to, I don't know, just shill for them, or maybe it's just because it's the genre and he wants the genre to be successful regardless. He just doesn't quite understand the scope of the culture war and how there are people that are speaking with their wallets, and that, yeah, I mean, Ubisoft is a company that's churning out garbage, and it is unfortunate. X Defiant came out and it was overshadowed. I think primarily by the Ghost of Tsushima PC director's cut, but it's just we want to like Ubisoft again. They have amazing franchises, but they've proven over the past couple of years they just don't care about their customers,
Yeah, they're
and
not
therefore
capable.
people shouldn't shill out money for them. And they just like people like that just don't understand that.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's like you have all this opportunity. It's a waste.
Yeah.
Well, that's Nade's shot, and it's an interesting conversation that when people look at it from the outside, they say, "What do you want things to fail?" And it's like, no, nobody wants
No.
these companies to
We
fail
just
at
want
all.
them to be good again. And unfortunately, the only way to make them understand that is to take to social media and voice how unhappy we are through disliking trailers, leaving bad reviews when the games are bad, and
Talking about it on
trying,
YouTube,
right,
right?
talking about it on YouTube, trying to get our voices heard.
Right. Well,
There's some guys in the chat saying, "No, I want them to fail."
Yeah, I mean, modern Ubisoft is not a good company, but they do have so many amazing franchises. I'd love to see them fix their ways and make good games again, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon.
No, I don't see that at all. It ultimately goes back to, will you vote with your wallet?
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do. For me
Yeah.
personally, I just won't boycott a whole entire company. I'll just be like, okay, I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. But if they release something that's actually good, let them know it's good, right, guys? Because that's the ultimate how they're going to figure it out. Be like, oh yeah, this is making a shit ton of money. We should do more of this. Like Warner Brothers, so stupid, right? Hogwarts Legacy did fantastic. What do they say? We're gonna go and work on live service games, which is what Suicide Squad was, and that flopped. It's like, guys, are you that stupid? Like, we're literally showing you what we want. We're with our money, but they just can't say it. And it's like, man, you guys are dumb. It's a very interesting take. I mean, I don't think this is like a whole black and white type of conversation.
No,
but
definitely
some
not.
people on the internet making it. I think there's a whole lot of layers to this, like Shrek. Just saying.
Naturally, in most conversations, there are layers to it. Very, very, very rarely are there things that are black and white. And that's
Right.
that's
And
why
I
we have
mean,
these shows.
and like you had mentioned, it's like Disney with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. It's, we have to show them that we don't want to support slop, but we will show up to support movies that seem like they're going to be really good. And when you actually give us the content we want, we will monetarily support you.
Right. And Mighty Megatron says, try to guilt me into buying your trash won't work. Right. And there's a big part of that. It's like, well, why should I try a game for $70?
Right.
Like that's an investment.
Yes.
That's a lot of money to go into.
It's not cheap to play games. I mean, I stream tons of games on the channel. I'm spending thousands of dollars a year on video games because there's so many. Like this month alone, there's 5 major releases I have to buy. But that's my mentality is if I'm live streaming and let's say there's 100 people there, just for argument's sake, if I am buying a copy of a bad game and 99 people decide to not buy it because they're watching a stream, that's a win to me if the game is really bad. But it's my first initial impressions. Maybe I'll say, actually, Assassin's Creed Shadows is amazing. You should go and buy this, and you can see those reactions. But I'm not there to tell you to boycott or to buy. I'm just there to give you information and show you the product the way the companies won't because their trailers are so deceptive now.
South Metal is gonna trigger everybody, including me. Says Ubisoft will make a game with Craig liking mayonnaise in his coffee. But here's the issue.
Gosh.
I don't like mayonnaise and I don't like coffee, so I'm out on all that.
He's
So
the
You don't like
weird
coffee? Oh my gosh.
I'm just starting to get into tea.
Ugh,
Tea is a new thing for me.
that's not all right.
That's not a weird sentence to say when you're 43 years old.
Why?
I'm just now getting into tea. Like,
Yeah, I'm just getting into tea.
where have you been since
Well,
then? Like prior to trying tea.
I'm trying to avoid sodas, right? Like
Fair.
that.
Yeah, what's that to
I
do
was,
with tea and coffee?
Right.
well,
you
I was
can
drinking an
drink
energy
all of
drink.
that.
That's my first energy drink in a week that I've had.
Those are
And
disgusting for you. You can just have tea with some caffeine. It does like marvelous wonders.
and that's the idea that I
But,
want
like,
to
Why are you trying that now? I mean, like, good on you for finally getting there, but why did it take you 43 years is what I want to know.
I don't like the taste of coffee, and I think that tea tastes like piss water.
Oh man.
I don't think you know how to make tea.
Probably not. Tea can be really good. There are some teas that are wacky.
Yeah, right? I mean,
But
yeah.
Well,
I
look,
feel like we need to call this.
Yeah.
Get him to make you some tea.
I'm not from the UK. All right, I don't know how to
But
make
that
coffee.
doesn't- what
I
do you
don't have
mean?
biscuits.
Oh no.
I have cookies here.
Yikes.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm getting into it. Like, look, are you gonna gatekeep me out of the tea world?
Yes,
Oh,
no tea.
what is
for
it?
No way. I
you.
literally just said good on you for finally getting there. I'm just curious as to, your explanation as to how you got there and such retardation.
Well, I told you I don't like coffee, but I'm looking for something that has caffeine in it that can keep me going throughout the day. So that's how.
Anyway.
There you go. It's
It makes
pretty
no
simple.
sense.
I don't like it. Don't. Well, either way. Benjamin came in with the 10 euro money. Says, "Gosh, played the demo for Dustborn. What is that? What is the writing for the token white man character? Gosh
Yeah.
darn, never seen woke tropes filled mess. Yuck, Vera. When will you stream that? What would you would watch and regret later?"
I will be streaming it at some point. So they made a big old mistake. It releases the same day as Black Myth Wukong on the 20th. So I'm
geez.
going to be streaming Black Myth Wukong. And then after that, I'm going to be streaming Star Wars Outlaws and Visions of Mana. So I will eventually stream Dustborn, but they really messed up with the timing of Dustborn. They should have launched it at the beginning of the month because there was basically nothing coming out, but there's no way I'm playing Dustborn over Black Myth Wukong.
You're gonna be the one playing Dustborn, huh?
Yeah, I
only
stream all
one.
them. Suicide Squad, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. I do it so nobody else has to buy it.
That a girl. Sorry to assume your gender, Vera.
Oh my gosh, I'm triggered. How could you do
Tatum
that?
Hippo says recently saw a video from Mr. H Reviews about how Witcher 4/Witcher Saga won't be about Geralt or Geralt.
Geralt.
I know it's Geralt, but I've always said Geralt because I don't know why. But the VA was interviewed about it. CD is also allowing censored Witcher 1, which why buy their games anymore? Yeah, that's been around for a while. The idea that Witcher 4 wouldn't have Geralt in it.
Well, that was confirmed, is that his saga is basically done. But as far as we know, it's going to be Ciri, and she was a fantastically written character in the other games. Now, granted, of course, it will heavily depend on the direction they go with her story. And if there's activists that are part of it, unfortunately, CD Projekt Red is a bit questionable now. But I mean, she was a well-written character, and the other games were fantastic, so I have to give them some kind of leeway. With Witcher 1, there is a lot of rumors about censorship. They just simply said that they are going to be modernizing some aspects, but at the same time, they were talking about that for the remake, and people, of course, are assuming that they are going to censor, like, I'll just call them, so maybe we don't get demonetized, the women playing cards, and some of the adult themes. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, because if they say modernize, but then they just simply update the gameplay, that's not something that's going to be seen as negative. But if they end up censoring the women playing cards and a lot of the adult themes, well, then that remake is completely screwed. So they're in a tough spot because there is a lot of skepticism for sure.
Like, how are we gonna why are we gonna censor that, but we can have bear sex? Like in other games. Like how is that a thing? You're gonna censor some stuff, but hey, let's count. You saw the article from that was highlighted yesterday. The whole dicks and Assassin's Creed. I'm just saying, what are we really doing here? It's
Right.
a mess. It's a lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah,
Blabs, let's go and get to some super chats. Vera, you've been excellent today. We're going to do some super chats. If you want to bounce, you can. If you want to stick, you're more than
I
welcome.
am going to bounce because I have to go and make my own videos and stream tonight. But I appreciate you guys having me on. I had a really great time as usual.
Of course. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Look forward to having you on again in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
All right, everyone,
Bye,
go check out Bear Dark's channel and continue to have her drive up towards 110,000 subscribers.
110. Hopefully, I'm at 107 right now.
Let's go.
Nice.
All right, Bear.
Yeah.
Pleasure. We'll
All
see you
right.
later. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
All righty. Awesome. Vera's information will be down in the description
Right
below
there.
for everyone to go check out. Already there by Blabs. Excellent stuff. Blabs, potty break for me.
Okay,
Please,
I got
read off some
locals.
super
Shoot,
chats.
go away. All right, Spoon Ninja for $1 says, watch Conan. He also says, Craig high on local. Okay. Oh, that's right, with the weed. And then says, it was good to see two people have a decent open conversation. And then follows up saying, some people attack the messenger and blame you for what was said. So thank you very much. Over on locals. It's just me, myself, and I right now. Anyway. Okay, Cyberglitch has become a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Orthodox Monk says, my birthday shares the same release date as the Super Nintendo and SMW. Oh no, now you know that I'm not the old monk in my pig. I'm ruined. Happy birthday, Orthodox Monk. Great day. Also, chat, do say happy birthday to him. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Big 200 says, the SNES is the GOAT. The GOAT. Thank you very much. Cajun Corey says, I'm team boobs. Oh yeah, chat. Are you guys like team boobs or team ass? If you had to pick, which one would you pick? Master Gawa says, there's only one gender. If women weren't meant to be objectified, they wouldn't be property. Also, I might be the normalest man. Master Gawa, you have your girlfriend on Tumblr that you admire for everyone to see. I don't know if you're that normal. Mage Leader says, love normal news. Don't let the low views get you down. It'll grow the more you do it. Keep it up. Thanks, Mage. Benjathan says, I don't know what happened, but Tatiana looked amazing in Orphan Black. Though, to be frank, she played like a dozen or so characters in that. Thank you. M Champion says, 1, Jennifer Lawrence, 2, Gal Gadot, and 3, Scarlett Johansson. You guys think Jennifer Lawrence is hot? I kind of think she's, like, extremely overrated and just didn't know. But, yeah. Speedy Cake says, hey Craig, if you there's a bug. Anyway, hey Craig, if you still want to keep up the chip challenge, why not make it spin the wheel era for the sauces? Have some fun. I wonder what he did with the sauces. I should ask. Like, bro, throw them out. Dan Evil Robot became a member for 10 months. Thank you very much. Rocky says, not MCU, but Prime, Monica Bellucci, and Catherine Zeta-Jones sweep the competition in Hollywood from any era. You know what? That is a fair point. Christian says, while Will Levis, or Levis, I should say, doesn't actually do that, he just did it as a joke. Oh, did he? I really hope it's just a joke. That's nasty. Nut Bunny says, check out the fragrance. Secretion's magnific. I don't want to. Steven says, hail normal men. A shout out please for Drunk 3PO and X-Wings for the Daughter's Revenge coming early in 2025. Vindicta. There's a shout out. Hi, Jay. And X-Wing. Raiden Roach says, if it makes him win, I don't care how much he puts in his coffee. Go Titans. Yeah, mayonnaise makes you stronger. Dan Evil Robot says, mayo into coffee should be illegal. Thanks a lot. Yes. Hypnotic says, you should show Blab some Civet coffee, Craig? Civet? Civet? I don't know. Is that supposed to be French? I don't know.
What? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Anyway, Tolls, member for 8 months, says nothing, but thank you for becoming an 8-month member.
Let's go.
Matthew says, The Simpsons was better. Too bad it went downhill in years.
I can tell by your avatar there, Matthew.
Matthew came back and says, without The Simpsons, we wouldn't have shows like South Park or Family Guy or even King of the Hill. Das Pooch says, it'll never beat the original cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters, which still holds up. Great for kids today. I didn't know there was an original one. Andrew says, Frozen Empire was okay. The worst part of the movie was the lesbianic tension between the female lead and the ghost character. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about just like the story just overall was really weak and it just was very meh. Tolls sent a super sticker.
Hey, thanks, Tolls. Appreciate that. That is spectacular.
Mr. Beast Infection. Worst woke games and movies you consume. Good question.
Worst woke games and movies I've consumed.
That means like either played or watched it. Ghostbusters 2016 was pretty awful. Like that was awful. Man, Beauty and the Beast 2017 was god awful too. I'm not gonna lie.
What was that?
I haven't really watched a whole lot of new movies because I avoid them because they're shit.
Okay, that's a good question. Worst woke thing that I've consumed.
Video game.
There's been most, you know what it is? Honestly, the most woke things I've consumed are like all the social justice stuff you see in sports, right? And that happens in real time. A lot of sporting stuff.
Yeah, that's garbage. Video game wise. See, here's the thing. I haven't really played a whole lot of modern day video games. So honestly, like some of the Apex Legends stuff is pretty crap.
Yeah.
The Hogwarts Legacy shit was pretty crap too. I'm gonna go with those. Flickerbox TV says Nobunaga hated Buddhist monasticism in monks as a threat. Thank you, Flickerbox. That's a lot of big words. Viper says, Craig, how goes trying to buy Screw Attack?
It is not happening. I can't get it. Once Rooster Teeth died, so did my connection over there. It won't happen. So
Chat says Quidditch Champions. Yeah, that's the winner.
Yeah.
Delta CA says PT Eurogamer is promoting AC Shadows every day.
I haven't seen Eurogamer doing that. Check it out.
Magnum says, I've purchased and finished every AC game, and I'm not touching this one. F Ubisoft, and that's your right. Mastagawa says, Mr. B will be absolved after becoming... Alpha Omega says, let's not forget Wokies tried to tie Japan to slave trade. Never mind the fact that there's no evidence and the Portuguese sold them to China. And never say that place, but thank you. Flickerbox TV says, some games, like movies, are just made to exist. Polished but soulless, lacking true passion or impact. Gusium says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Oh, how have times changed. Mercenary says, man, the rabbit holes I've been down would terrify you. If you could see what I have about what happened on the blackout, also see the nuke plant gutting punch.
Sorry, Mercenary, I haven't seen it.
He just pulled like a Galadriel. You haven't seen what I have seen.
Right.
Christian says, guest suggestion. Aaron Plays. He's a retro gaming YouTube channel and she knows her stuff. All right. Grabbed. Thank
I'm familiar with Aaron. I think, isn't that... This may be an issue. Isn't that...
She not like you?
Who is she related to? Who is Aaron Play? Is this who I think it is? I think that's... Is it Pro Jared's girlfriend or something? I don't know. No. It's Mike Matei's girlfriend. That's what it was. Just something along those lines. Okay, that wouldn't be an issue, I don't think.
Okay, Miku says, buy our bad product, consume and have no standards. Dude, I would love to have a conversation for like an hour about how like people just buy the absolute shittiest stuff and they're totally okay with it. And I'm talking like not video games, I'm talking like merch, like collectible and stuff. And like you go to Japan, it's like, damn, everything's nice there. Anyway, rabbit hole. Thank you, Miku. Gusium says TDS should seriously be cataloged as an authentic mental condition. It was funny at first, but now it's actually scary.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've been broken.
Magnum says YouTube has cranked up the censorship by 10 times. Holy moly.
Magnum, do you have any examples of that?
Let's see. Sly says that had the energy of influencers telling their audience they have to watch Ahsoka or The Acolyte, else Star Wars might go away for some time. Did people actually say that about us, like Ahsoka and the Acolyte? I didn't hear that. That's hilarious. Vote with your wallets, you beautiful normal men, says Benjamin.
That's right, Benjamin. You know.
Abby says, publishers, here is a $70 live service game. Gamers, how many times do we need to teach you this lesson, old man?
Right.
Tired of this, grandpa. Mastagawa says, I love midnight launches for the community. It
was a good time, man. It was a good time.
That Asian guy says, game companies that can't figure out what gamers want or refuse to give it to them deserve to fall, whether they are indie or $1 billion. Mastagawa also said leftism is a mental disorder. I forgive some of them. SBZ says, like I must be the Chris Stuckman of gaming.
He's been around about the same time.
Super Dave says, it's crazy because with any other business, if it sucks, it fails. If a restaurant fails, it fails. But if games are crap, people continue to buy.
Man, what a yes. 1000%.
Gnome John says, as someone who loves the Witcher franchise, the first game needs a lot of updates to the gameplay because it was rough even when it first came out. And then Yosh Ken says, you don't like tea, then give the Tea Man a try. The Dragon's Treasure is a video game and inspired anime tea. Give it a try. Thanks,
Let's
Yosh
go.
Ken.
Appreciate that, Yoshkin. That's awesome. Good stuff. Delta came in with the 5, says, shout out to actress Rosa Salazar and Stephanie Beatrice. Very different from your pics of Gal Gadot or what's-her-face from Barbie and Suicide Squad. Thanks, Delta. Appreciate that. Alexander says, Lily from Rockstar. Lily Collins, daughter of rock star Phil Collins, is the hottest. She even played a better Snow White in the movie Mirror Mirror.
That is true. I've seen Mirror Mirror. Mirror Mirror was pretty sweet. It was cute.
Cool.
And Lily Collins is.
Nux says Nuxaku, a famous VTuber, smeared Taiga, a small indie VTuber with child porn, even though they were a victim of CSA. Nux refuses to apologize on the main channel to Taiga. Taiga is systematically deplatformed. Please spread the word. All right. Thanks for the heads up. Rift Creator came in and picked up the American Pride t-shirt. Says, loving the podcast. Question for y'all. Do y'all have a Doomcock? Question for y'all. Would y'all have Doomcock / Overlord DVD on regardless? Keep being normal men. Yes, of course. We'd love to have anybody on. I think for sure. We're open to having everybody on. Talkie came in and picked up the Let Us Skateboard t-shirt. Thank you very much. Genuinely appreciate that. My daughter does as well. CG Hero came in with a 5, says, I predict Star Wars Outlaw and AC and Assassin's Creed Shadows will have decent sales at first, but they'll quickly drop off a cliff. Outlaws will be half price by Black Friday, and Shadows will be half off by spring, most likely. I think that's a pretty good prediction. And Delta says, granted, Nadeshot sounds like the most generic hardcore console gamer. He played Call of Duty and FIFA, but never touched 4 dozen AAA or indie releases on PC a year. Especially if he can't stream it to an audience. Thanks, Delta. Appreciate that. Over on Rumble, Shane says, Craig, you're the hottest person in Hollywood. # mega simping. Thanks, Shane. Appreciate you. B. Barrett came in, says, it's going to be a very excellent show today. Thanks. And it was. Rimdog says, real quick, Patman QC is in the hospital. Quad amputee that makes gaming historic videos. Benefit tonight at 8 o'clock on Retro Rob's channel. All right, Rimdog, thanks for the heads up. And Bronsonite said, I like when my girl smells like a delicious steak with some Montreal seasons. All right, Bronsonite, congratulations. And then his follows up with his girlfriend wants half, unlike okay, sounds good. All right, well, thanks, Bronsonite. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and being a part of our day.
Absolutely, Rudy has some breaking news for you. €2. Breaking news. Ivan Reitman. Are you serious?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ivan Reitman has died.
Anyway.
Rest in peace, Ivan. That's it for today. Thanks very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Whether you're watching over on YouTube or Rumble or Kick or anywhere or sidescrollspodcast.com, we appreciate you guys popping in. Once again, tune in this afternoon. I'm going to be doing another one of those normal news where I'm doing a recap of everything we talked about, as well as some other stuff that's been going on the internet. Tune in. It'll be around 3:30 or 4 Central Time. Hopefully this kind of, I don't know, I'm just giving a good week or two to kind of see if anybody takes to this idea. It's kind of like an old school hard news that I did back in the old Screw Attack days, but extended and more fun and all that stuff. So with that said, tune in today. Appreciate you guys popping in. Go find Blabs over on her channel. Continues to oogle. Have you done any oogling lately?
I have not. I've kind of given up on it because the kick thoughts are kind of boring, and I don't really go on Twitch anymore because they're kind of extreme. So.
Boo!
I know. I've been playing Zoo Tycoon and working instead.
Awesome. All right, with that said, guys, get out of here. Hit the thumbs up button on your way and have a great rest of your day. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.